bloody skirmishing that goes on down here in the southwest corner of Vietnam. It's taking place at a Vietnamese regional forces outpost about a mile away from the Cambodian border. Two Americans, Captain Fred Benson of Baltimore and Captain Keith Chapman of St. James, Missouri, received Vietnamese Crosses of Valor for their part in the action December 23rd. Benson and Chapman helped kill 43 Viet Cong fleeing across this open field toward the Cambodian border. Benson with a machine gun mounted on his Jeep, and Chapman with machine guns and rockets mounted on his L-19 artillery spotter plane. The Vinh Tay Canal, about 1,000 yards beyond the Cambodian border.
The VC were either digging in an ambush position on this side of the canal when the CIDG triggered it, or they were trying to proceed across the canal. At any rate, by the time we got down there, they were about 100 meters on the other side of the canal and moving towards the Cambodian border. For some reason or other, they must have thought we had a larger force, or they received an order to evacuate across the border because of air in the area or something. But the VC were about halfway across, and they were in an extremely exposed position. Captain Chapman was firing machine gun and rocket fire into the position, in addition to our machine gun fire.
The battle was unusual in two respects. One, the enemy let himself get caught out in the open in daylight. Two, it was one of the most blatant demonstrations of Cambodian cooperation with the VC witnessed so far in the war. The fleeing enemy were seen headed straight for this Cambodian outpost in the trees. Also, it's believed the Cambodians may have fired a few mortar rounds at the South Vietnamese to cover the enemy's retreat. In this case, the VC escaped in broad daylight across the border in full view of the Vietnamese and their American advisors, and in full view of the Cambodians in that outpost over there. An unusual case that would seem to contradict the Cambodian authorities' claims of complete ignorance about VC activity on their side of the border. George Sievertson, CBS News, on the Cambodian border in Chao Duc Province.
This aviator is about to begin a recon mission. He's going target hunting. Let's see what he does when he finds one. His job begins when he hears a call from a friendly patrol trying to reach any bird dog within the vicinity. As expected, he receives a request from a friendly.
Seahorse 2-3, this is Twisty Scalp. We have heavy contact with an estimated platoon located at coordinates Zulu, Tango 225, 225. We are about 400 meters east of that location. Can you give us any assistance? Over.
About 45 degrees. The pilot has released his rocket at 1,800 feet. Now he initiates a climbing turn to the right or left. About halfway through the turn, he rolls his aircraft back toward the target to check the strike of his rocket. He now stays in an orbit, positioning himself so he can control the helicopters, yet not interfere with their firing passes. This accident could have been avoided, but the student forgot what his instructor had taught him. By not remaining calm, he lost directional control. His use of ailerons, rudder, and elevator during the after-landing roll
before you get lost in the nuts and bolts, I gotta set these guys straight on something.
Bird Dog, are you here again? I thought maybe I could get through one film without your able assistance.
Okay, I'll shut up. But first, I gotta say something.
That's what I mean. You can shut up and say something at the same time? All right, go ahead.
Look at this mess. Pay attention now. This bird dog is just barely worth fixing. But the guy who was flying it didn't even get a scratch. I ask you, is that fair?
It may not seem fair to you, Bird Dog, but it's a good thing for students to know about. Aviators are practically never injured in landing accidents. Out of 316 planes damaged by loss of directional control, the United States Army Board for Aviation Accident Research reports only 2 aviators injured.
Only 2? And 316 planes mangled?
That's right, 2 injuries in a little over 3 years.
316 planes? What about them?
Repair and replacement of those planes cost the Army $750,129.
$750,000 bucks? 750,000 $1 bills? This picture better be good. Let's get going.